Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comment. Thanks. I never thought Betrayal would arrive wearing a company badge. When Emily walked out of our apartment with a suitcase and a rehearsed calm, she said she needed clarity. 3 weeks later, clarity had a name. Mark. Her boss. I was 36, a project manager who believed loyalty was boring but necessary, like oil changes. Emily used to say that was why she loved me. Steady, predictable, safe. I told myself affairs happened to careless people, loud people, not to couples who split groceries and argued about paint colors. But the night she left, the walls felt thinner, like the truth had been peeling for years and finally fell. Emily and I met in Manchester, 2 interns sharing a borrowed desk and cheap coffee. She laughed at my dry jokes and said ambition was attractive when it didn't announce itself. We built a life that looked small from the outside and enormous to us. Weekends meant farmers markets, long walks, plans postponed but never canceled. Then she changed jobs. New office, new hours, new vocabulary. Strategy, synergy, visibility. She stopped asking about my day and started checking her phone face down. I noticed the absence before I noticed Mark. When she finally told me, she framed it as evolution. She said she needed someone who challenged her, someone decisive. I asked if that someone was her manager. She didn't answer, which was an answer. The next morning, her side of the closet was empty, and my phone filled with advice I didn't ask for. Move on. Hit the gym. Be grateful she showed her hand early. None of it touched the ache that settled behind my ribs. I replayed conversations, searching for the moment I lost her, and found only silence where affection used to live. Mark became a shadow I couldn't avoid. Colleagues whispered. Friends forwarded screenshots they thought were helpful. I learned he was married. Claire, a marketing consultant with a calm smile and photos that now felt staged. I didn't plan to contact her. I told myself dignity meant distance. But dignity didn't quiet the questions. One evening, after another sleepless night, I typed her name, erased it, typed it again, and sent a single line. I think our lives overlap. She replied within minutes. I think so too. We met in a cafe near the river, neutral ground. Claire was taller than I expected, steady in a way that felt earned. We didn't accuse. We compared timelines. Late meetings. Sudden trips. The same excuses, delivered with professional polish. She wasn't angry yet. Neither was I. We were careful, like 2 people carrying something fragile between them. When she mentioned Mark's impatience, his habit of correcting her in public, a strange relief washed over me. Emily's glow suddenly had a cost I could name. Over the next weeks, Claire and I talked, not like conspirators, but like witnesses. We shared the small cuts that don't bleed. Missed birthdays. Decisions made without us. We learned to pause before speaking, to listen without defending ghosts. Somewhere between facts and quiet laughter, trust formed. Not romance. Not yet. Something sturdier. I realized I wasn't competing with Mark. I was competing with a version of myself that accepted crumbs. Claire said the same. We weren't angry. We were awake. Emily called once. She sounded breathless, triumphant, and uncertain all at once. She asked how I was doing. I told her the truth. Better. She laughed, then stopped. I didn't explain why. I didn't need to. That night, Claire and I walked along the river, the city reflected in broken light. She told me she was filing for separation. I told her I was done apologizing for wanting consistency. We stood there, not touching, letting the cold air do the honest work. It wasn't love yet, and that mattered. Love, I learned, doesn't rush to replace loss. It waits until the noise fades. Claire smiled at passing boat and said she missed who she used to be. I said I was meeting myself again, slowly. We agreed to keep things simple. Coffee, conversations, boundaries. As we parted, she squeezed my hand, brief and grounding. I watched her walk away and felt something unfamiliar and solid settle in. Not hope, certainty. That whatever came next, it would be chosen, not stolen. The truth was simple and sharp. Betrayal ended a marriage, but honesty opened a door. I stepped through without looking back, carrying lessons, not scars, and quiet courage I trusted. Claire, and I didn't call what we were doing anything at first. Labels felt like promises, and neither of us was ready to promise more than honesty. We met on Sundays, always the same table by the window, where the barista learned our orders and never asked questions. We talked about practical things, leases, lawyers, the strange relief of empty calendars, then drifted into softer territory, music we'd forgotten, places we'd never gone because someone else didn't want it. The past stopped demanding explanations. It simply existed, and that felt like progress. Emily's life, by contrast, accelerated. Mark left Claire's house and moved into a rental near the office. Promotions were announced. Photos appeared online, all angles in confidence. Emily sent a message once more, this time longer, warmer, threaded with nostalgia. She said she missed our quiet. She said Mark was intense. I read it without anger. I didn't reply. Closure, I learned, isn't a conversation. It's a decision to stop auditioning for someone who already chose differently. Claire finalized her separation with calm efficiency. There were no dramatic speeches, just facts and boundaries. Watching her handle it rewired something in me. Strength didn't need volume. It needed clarity. One evening, as we cooked together, nothing impressive, pasta and laughter, we noticed ease between us. The room felt occupied in a way it hadn't for a long time. When she leaned against the counter, flower on her sleeve, and met my eyes, the moment didn't ask permission. It arrived fully formed. We took it slow anyway. Love that grows without pressure doesn't feel like rescue. It feels like recognition. We learned each other's rhythms. Her habit of listening until the end. My need to think before speaking. Disagreements stayed contained, addressed before they hardened. When work stress flared, we named it. When fear surfaced, we didn't pretend it was wisdom. I realized how often I confused endurance with devotion. Claire taught me that consistency wasn't quiet suffering. It was shared effort. The first time we said it mattered because it didn't feel urgent. We were walking through a park after dusk, the kind of evening that doesn't ask much of you. She said, simply, that she loved how safe she felt telling the truth. I said I love how she made room for it. The word landed without fireworks, and that was perfect. Fireworks fade. Foundations don't. Emily resurfaced once more, months later, after Mark's temper leaked into public view. She apologized. She said she mistaken intensity for depth. I wished her well and meant it. Some lessons arrive late and still count. When I hung up, Claire was across the room, reading, trusting me to handle my past. That trust felt like a gift I'd learned to earn. Time did what time does. The story settled. Mark's world shrank. Emily moved on. Claire and I built something ordinary and rare. Shared keys, shared plans, arguments that ended in understanding. We didn't perform happiness. We practiced it. On anniversaries, we celebrated small victories. The week we navigated a setback without blame, the trip we took on a whim, the night we stayed in and chose each other without trying. Looking back, I don't thank betrayal. I thank clarity. It stripped away the idea that love should be proved by how much you endure. Real love, I discovered, doesn't ask you to disappear so it can shine. It stands beside you, visible and steady, and lets you be seen. When I think of the night Emily left, I don't feel lost anymore. I feel direction. The path changed, and it led me somewhere honest. I found real love not by chasing it, but by refusing to accept less than it.